Hell, this is the Raz from Graveyard, and you're watching Agoraphobic News. Stay underground.
So what are you blasting right now?
I cut this last night on guitar.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is the new Graveyard that's for the next album. I've got 9 tracks that we're going to do 30, and we're going to pick it to make an hour and 15 minutes of this right here. Listen.
Yeah, that's cool. Excellent, man.
Guitar solo, we come in right here. Woo!
So what's going on? How you doing, man?
Just a taste of what we're doing.
I'm doing great, man.
We're, time ran out. It was really a test for us to see how the process is going to work. And, so this is the direction that we're heading in right now.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's
stuff, yeah.
It's visible for some reason, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just blasting it as background chatter,
Dude, fucking sick.
The tracks. I figured an hour and 15 minutes the next album, This way, you were saying, this way they'll be fully broken, people, after they listen to this,
Yeah.
Anyone who listens to this, I'm going to crack the brain in half with it. It wasn't long enough to sledgehammer them.
Time is running out.
An EP,
Yeah.
all right, to test it.
It's over.
Yeah.
The fucking psychopaths are melting.
There's things that could have been better.
Over. Methane gas. Total
So what
death.
did you guys do for the New Year's Eve? Did you have some, some metal thing going on, blasting through the stereo?
I definitely worked on some music that night, yeah. I worked on music at my friend's house near a fire, an acoustic, and then came home and did some tracks, on guitar, but nothing really good for me other than staying away from, people and being isolated, really.
So can you tell me something about your latest album, Time Ran Out? So can you...
Absolutely.
Why Time Ran Out? Why did you choose this?
That's an answer that's a question directed for Raz here, because he can tell you. He just kind of did say,
that was it.
It's after the Extinction.
Custodian Killer's like this. He goes, no, that's it, man. Time ran out. And I was like, that's the name of the album. Time ran out. Because no one has any hope left. It's over. It's finished.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. It's over. That's it.
Yeah, that's
so that's
cool.
what we want to express. Graveyard.
And, I really liked the album, but I was wondering, why 20 minutes? Why did you choose this format? Only 22 minutes of crushing black death metal.
Well, we were testing the waters with the way, some of the way we were recording. We were trying to get away from the other last 2 releases and go in a different direction. So,
you know what happened too?
We were just testing, and I think we ran out of time too, because time ran. No, we ran out of time because it was close to the end of the year. We wanted to get it out before the year's end, and we had to sacrifice some things to. I think it was 9 tracks, right? But we had 19 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was Tom, Thunder, Tom. It was getting so intense during the recording session. The R8 finally gave out, and it was like that was it.
Ads.
Yeah,
Right.
Sick stuff.
So
So
the R8 goes out, and what do we say? Okay, what do we do now? Right?
Yeah.
So Tom, you have to play the drums. I said, we talked about this long time for Graveyard. This guy does not want to play the drums to a graveyard. And I said, that's it, man. You're playing drums now. And he says, okay, I'll record and I'll come back, and he does it. And it was a lot of stuff to do. So it came out to just put in 22 minutes at the beginning to try it out, see how it works. If it's cool, if it's good, and we can develop it together. And he wants to play the drums for once and for all instead of the R8. Then of course we're gonna do that. So that's what we're gonna get into now.
Yeah. And did you guys like want an EP format, kind of? You know, like.
That's kind of where my mind was at with it. I was thinking that too. Just, you know, we wanted to have something to represent us for that year, you know.
Yeah.
And, this year will be
intense.
Yeah, I mean, number 3 on my list of all of like
we
best.
Appreciate it, and we appreciate the support very much. And we
no, let's ask this. How about let's ask you, because the real story is this. What do you think about the album? Like, what do you feel from the album? How do you go through that album as opposed to go through like the Sixth Extinction or Opus 5V? You know,
well, it's like,
how does it go?
In my opinion, it's like, you know, more surprising to me. Like, it was more surprising because like you chose like 22 minutes, and you kind of got rid of this jam feels to the whole, you know, like
one
the
take.
previous album you had like, you know, a jam feel, but these songs sounded like way more polished.
Right.
You know, like as if you had more time to make the songs like that. I don't know, like
actually
it sounds like more mature. You know, it sounds more mature, like, and with more like this profound black metal going on.
Just trying to
boy
keep
rod, old boy rod.
Yeah.
Trying to keep my identity with the way that we write, but I wanted it to be different. I mean, you know, in subtle ways, everything has to change. You know, you can't. Yeah. I don't like to stay exactly the same. I think it's not good for me personally.
Yeah. But
I don't want to stray and change into something I'm not, or change into above the ground. I want to stay underground. So, and that's very difficult. You know, like people, they say they want to be underground, and then they turn out to be too popular, and it kind of hurts them in the end. You know, I mean, in a way. I mean, not really. You know, I mean, I guess they're happy to be successful, of course, but what does it do for your overall creative ability? And then you get wore out from the road and all that. But
that's rough stuff.
So at this point, you know, the disease took care of that, man.
That's it. Time is running out. That's it. It's over.
Well, I say 2035, there'll be very few humans left. Only underground settlements will be around, and they'll be hanging on to sterilized water and canned peaches, and their air system will, and that'll be in New Zealand, by the way. The last billionaires who are underground there. Well, you know, this time you got to remember, out of all the extinctions, and we've had 5, this one is different than all of them in only one way. We have the nuclear plants, the chemical and military weapons, and chemical plants, which none of the extinctions ever had to deal with.
Yeah,
you know, we're close to the 4th extinction, which was the Permian with the global warming event, and so I mean, it's just, you know, everyone wants to say 100 years. You're full of crap. It's not 100 years. They already came out and said straight out, like, oh, you know, we thought it was a lot later, but it's, you know, no matter who you're listening to, and it's
time ran out.
The truth is we got about 15, 20 years max, and then the basic fundamental of grain, being able to grow, harvest, store, transport grain will be compromised, which is the basis of all food, and that's only in a few areas along that region, and you'll see. And no one doing this is outside. Look, this is outside of any of the political stuff we're talking. This is just basic Earth stuff. Yeah. You know, everyone wants to talk about this and that and the other, and then nobody's focusing on this because they forgot all about it. Yeah, they forgot about the 6th extinction. That we're on the cusp, but it's okay. You know, that's why time ran out. But now we got a new 2022. We have a couple of years left, so we gotta forge ahead. But
so it's like
sicker
like-
and harder.
It's not up yet. It's not up yet. We got to, I'm firmly a believer that there is no hope. You
Yeah.
know,
No.
you could
And
say
it's-
you're gonna reverse this,
Abandon
reverse
all
that.
hope.
You're not. I'm not getting rid of my oil burner, who heats my house because I can't afford it. I'm not getting rid of my brand new 2020 van that I just bought for $40,000 that runs on gas. I mean, when am I going to get this money to transform over? And we all have to do it around the entire. We're 10, 15, 20 years too late. What do you
Yeah.
want?
Anyways.
What are you looking for? You know? I mean,
Wait a minute, China, the Chinese, they're the bad guys. The Chinese burn more gas. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
you know
it's
what?
like
gas.
No, it's cows eating and farting. They said. Then they tried to, they try to say it's the rotting plants and the waste of the food, the methane. We got the methane collaborates underneath the ground that it's going to be released. Everyone doesn't even know what they're talking about. It's just, enjoy life to the max, live the greatest you can, and make the most sickest music you can. Stuff.
Metal.
And not
Yeah,
really.
I mean, for
And
that.
then you know what? You'll see. That's the new album. You'll see. No, that's already done. Grave did that in Sweden. Like you'll never see heaven. So all right, we'll figure something different. We always
Great.
think through our favorite albums, and then we try to work around it because I don't like to sound like anyone else.
Wood chipper.
Yeah.
It's
and
about,
like
it's about being original.
the concept like reminds me of Metro 2033. Is it 33? Am I correct?
Right.
So did you like that book? Maybe.
I don't know, man.
Did you
What's
read
your
it?
thoughts, Rez? What's something you want to get out of your mind on the next release? Like you want to put on one of these songs, and he always comes up with something.
It's all driven by the music because the music is what's distorted about. That's the most disturbing thing about Graveyard. We don't talk we're not talking about the lyrics or the vocals or the no, we're talking about the guitar. The guitars are the most disturbing thing about Graveyard, and we just like to make it disturbing. And as long as that's disturbing, then it's going to be disturbing. The album's going to be disturbing.
I mean,
Yeah.
would you believe? Like this is all I did. I did 6 of these in a row, and I didn't listen back once until today, and I'm listening back. I mixed it.
Custodian Killer is possessed when he fucking picks up the guitar.
We talk about this when we get together and create. I create a lot more different when he's actually in the room with me,
Mm-hmm.
and then different energies will come out. Otherwise, I put my own energies out, but I can't plan it. It just has to come out. It really writes itself. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I just
And
get myself a blank mode, and then it just comes out, and that's how I go with it.
Yeah, and what about the influences in this album? Like, who were your influences?
My influences are clearly, Chris Ryford, Autopsy, Carcass, Destruction. But there's others. Just my brain's I'm trying to think of all. There's so many others, Death, of course, I like Autopsy. Darkthrone, I like a lot of that. I'm trying to think. I have a pretty good record collection.
Coroner.
Yeah.
Coroner, definitely. I'm gonna throw some at me, man. My brain just went into fog.
And
Coroner.
that as well. Boy,
Well,
Yeah.
I like them all. I like a lot. I like all the legendary ones, too. You know what I mean? The Cadaver.
Yeah. And what about you, man? Like, Raz, what inspired you, like, musically for this album? Like,
for this album, holy shit! I don't know, man. It's just for me, Graveyard is not following or imitating anybody. That's my opinion. And we don't want to sound like it. We want to sound like Graveyard because we are Graveyard. Now, if that's something else, then that's something else. But and from that feeling of that music, then I'll create the songs, right? So for me, influences or anything like that, I love like stuff like Punch and Stench, old Punch and Stench, really cool. I really love the Messiah's first 2 albums from Switzerland, and then all the other great vocalists and shit like that to have great vocals.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
I love them all. So I mean, I use that. You know, I love Snake. You know, Snake is like nobody has Snake's voice, but anybody at the first time they hear Snake, they're like, wait, is this guy singing or whatever? You know, so it's kind of different. You know, but it was good.
Yeah.
But that was a funny thing because I was thinking about the other day. I was sharing a Megadeth video, which is The Conjuring. You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, back in the day, back those days, Peace Sells days, shit like that, and like even when Megadeth first came out, people were just like this, like, what kind of fucking music is this? What is this? You know, they couldn't classify it. You know.
Yeah.
They couldn't classify it. You know. So we want to be sure that when we make the music, it's unclassifiable. They say the Graveyard is death metal, it's black metal, it's thrash metal, it's doom metal. I've heard. So I don't, you know.
Metal.
We don't fucking label. We do not. To label something is to fucking. It's your interpretation. No, it's not. It's our interpretation of the music. That's it.
And speaking of Conjuring, it's such a great song. You know, it has these sick riffs. You know, Mustaine when he was crazy and when he was shooting heroin.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great riffs.
That's Graveyard shooting heroin, eating out of garbage cans.
Rock is a big influence.
Yeah.
Guys playing, man. I love all those guys. Yuli, John, right? Those guys. Really, you know, it's not too many I don't like, you know. But
Yeah. Custodian Killer really knows knows every Jimmy Page song and every rest of he knows it all. He has a Zepp band and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, it's really cool.
That's
really cool. Yeah.
Another
and if you like have to say like who did what on the album other than vocals, like musically, so what did you do and what did you like in terms of music, like solos and riffs? So who made what on this album?
Of what? Time Ran Out on that one?
On the
Time Ran Out. Basically, I did all the guitars, right?
All Custodian Killer. I didn't play anything, man. The thing is this: when Custodian Killer plays, that's like I'm not that level, man. I'm sorry, I can't play that shit.
Well, yeah, Tom played drums, and then I played the drums with him, and then we went back with the bass, and then he sang, and then I sang. We both sang. And then you got the girl to sing, and you got the keyboard step in. I'd like to do more keyboards a little bit, not too much, because I don't want to just ride on that. But there's certain tracks that I feel have that vibe that it'd be really nice, and I would do that.
And who is this girl?
Try to be married.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Who is this girl that you were talking about in?
RAz
we did the production. We did the mastering in Turkey, in Istanbul, at a studio, and it's called. What's it called? Oh, I gotta remember the studio's name.
Jam Session. Is it Jam?
What's that?
Is it Jam Session Studios?
Yeah. Jameson Studios. Well, it's like it says Jam Session, but I always joke. I say Jameson Studios. So the guy who does it, he works with a lot of the recordings in Turkey. A lot of the labels in Turkey or the bands in Turkey do their recordings to this guy, and he's a great recording guy. So anyway. His wife is a professional singer too, as well. So we were hanging out, and I said, "Listen, Mama, I know you sang. Can you really help me out here?" And she's like, "Yo, let me check it out." And I said, "You can do the vocals here." And she's like, "Okay, I'll try." She puts it on.
And it's like, it was perfect. Like one of the best moments on the album. Like when the vocals kick in, like and this sick black metal riff,
Yeah.
Takes it by surprise.
It's a definitely interesting song.
Yeah, like and all of it blended so well, like. And
it's a very short song too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was like a minute.
It's like short, but it's like has a feel to it. I don't know how would you classify that as a song? Could you classify that as a song? I guess.
Well,
yes.
Like Ben's like Meat Shits and the other one.
That was the anal songs. Like really short.
5 seconds, Napalm Death.
Yeah.
had
Yeah, I
songs
mean,
that
yeah,
were
right. So, but
30
this is like, but this is not like five. They're like five,
It falls in
intention.
that realm, you know.
It goes
Yeah.
different feel. It has different grooves in that short amount of time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Absolutely.
starts out a certain way, then it changes, then it goes to another thing, then it goes to another, and then her vocals kick in and stuff like that. So it's very strange. It's very
Yeah. And I like it because like a lot of these songs are under 2 minutes or 2 minutes and a half or stuff like that. So yeah, like even
that's
50
why the
seconds,
20
you know.
minutes.
Some tend to run a little maybe longer here and there, but otherwise the
Yeah,
idea
one
don't.
was
What
generation.
there's one theme. If you listen to the record again, you'll notice there's no repeating parts at all. There's not one part in any song that repeats
Yeah, that's cool.
on this release, and this is what you're going to hear. Pretty much, there's no verse and back to a chorus, back to a verse. I mean, not that most metal does that, but metal usually does have parts that reoccur, and you won't find any, not one.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
in any song.
Excellent.
Well, it's funny. Opus and Sixth Extinction also. There might have been a little repeat on one section, maybe, but those didn't have repeating parts either.
Very rarely, I think.
There was our style isn't
Or
to
different
have
key or something.
repeating sections. Everything's to go forward once, and it's weird. That's kind of the way we write, at this point,
So, what do you think about the intakes and the outtakes of some of the songs? What do you think about some of those, the intakes and the outtakes of the songs on the album?
You mean like samples of these movies?
Yeah, like at the beginning, that lady, she's like, I took him upstairs, kicked his ass, and killed him.
I actually saw the video of that.
And these are real people, man. These are real people too.
It's sick. Yeah.
I went to the video, and that was very disturbing. It wasn't the lady's face does not match her voice at all, and it's not who you think it is. You think it's I don't know, some kind of different person, and then when you see the person, and you're like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
The filtration is in when you see them, And the other samples were from various. One movie, Bloody Pit of Horror, which is a pretty common one. We took the Crimson Executioner, had a couple good lines in there we had to take out of there. And for Tortured to Death was a good one. I like that. That's the song that's 1 minute and 30 seconds. I think it's the shortest one.
Don't get on that ship, man, right?
Yeah.
Don't get on. That's classic Twilight Zone.
And what about the artwork? Like, I had a comment on Instagram, like some girls said, like, "Wow, this artwork is so sick," or something like that. Yeah. So
usually I'm the covers, and I make the artwork of the covers usually.
Yeah.
So this release is the first release where I really didn't do it, but I did provide the front cover artwork and the back cover artwork, and then RAz had take care of the production of the writing on it and all that. But I found the picture on the front of the Chariot of Death mowing over people with the Black Plague, and as you see, standing on top with this side and underneath are kings and queens being mowed down with and it's just like, it's great.
And what is the name? So what is the name of this painting?
I actually don't know, because I got it from a book, and I took a picture of my phone from the book, and then it's a book that wasn't mine, and I couldn't keep it. And I was tempted to rip the page out of the book, but I didn't want to do that.
It was.
I just I'm sure some art historian would be able to nail that quick. And the back was a creepy picture I saw of a graveyard, and I said, "Oh, that's a good one," and.
Yeah.
So, this one we didn't get a chance. Again, it was a rushed. We had to, finish it before the end of the year. We only had like 3 months to do it. So I didn't get to do the kind of collage work that I've done on other albums. I'm hoping to get back to it. I don't want to I don't want generic covers. The covers are usually very artistic and we make the vinyl different than the cassettes, and the CDs are different than the the cassettes as well. And right now, I'm actually in the process of burning 100 of the Opus. No, excuse me, the Sixth Extinction movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
that's
got
cool,
banned
man.
from YouTube because of the Godzilla footage. Whoop-de-doo,
Yeah, yeah. I told
it's
him
being
like,
blown off.
yeah.
Like like watermelons being blown off, but they have no problem with that. But the Godzilla, heaven
So
forbid.
like the only copyright was Godzilla.
Yeah, I got slammed on a couple of the songs because Godzilla, the Toho. I think the Time Warner stepped in on that.
No, I think it's actually like I talked with Raz about it. I think it's like this Japanese. I don't know what's the name of the company. Like
Toho.
some yeah, Toho probably. Yeah,
Yeah, I have
something
all
like
the Godzillas.
yeah.
The Smog Monster is my favorite.
Yeah, I watched the first one and the one from 1998. So yeah, I only watched 2 Godzilla movies. I don't know like
Wow.
which one are good, like, but yeah, first one was great.
Monster Zero. I mean Monster X, whatever. Planet X. Monster Zero. The one with the 3 heads. That one's sick. The sound.
Yeah.
I want to use that creepy sound. And that's coming in.
Gamma.
Yeah, yeah. And like the guy
I really like to do a lot of that.
Yeah, and the guy like who was in this Godzilla costume, he died like a couple of
Yeah,
years
he's a legend. I have a document. I have the actual box set with the official complete whatever of the old ones, and it's got a great documentary. He's almost died in that suit like 3 times, where he fell underneath the trap. It took 2 hours to seal the guy into the suit, and he had to stay in the suit for like 16 hours.
Yeah, man, that's it.
And then he was in a water scene, which is a pool, and he fell under, and they had to try to, So I mean, it was great. The suit itself to the Smog Monster weighed like 400 pounds. It's amazing. This documentary is incredible.
I have to watch that.
It really is. It's an incredible documentary, and it's on. I forgot his name. And then it goes over the guys that took over after him and all that, I love those cheap movies, they were great.
Yeah, yeah. But like the first one has such a great story and music even, and even like the visuals of this movie are great. It's like 1954 to the, time when it was released, but it's such a great movie,
Absolutely.
Are you anti-new Godzilla?
I didn't watch it.
And then there was all those
didn't
other
watch
ones.
it, so I can't.
Are you like, no, this sucks. This is nothing like the old Godzilla.
No, I didn't.
The old
watch
Godzilla's better.
I just didn't watch it. Maybe I'll watch it, but I didn't watch. I don't like. I didn't criticize it, but yeah, I didn't watch it actually, so I can't have an opinion on it because I didn't watch it. But yeah, like the first one was great, and I loved the 1998 version because that was like my first Godzilla movie, when I was a kid, and like there was this crazy ads, like crazy ad for this movie. Yeah, 1998, like when.
Yeah.
What, 1998?
Yes,
like,
I stopped at the Mecha Godzilla of '78.
Yeah.
I stopped 10 years before you.
That was the one. If you want to talk Godzilla, that was definitely the song.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla.
That was ripping. I remember going in subways in New York City. In New York City, they had the posters in the subways with Mecha Godzilla and Godzilla, and it was like the sickest poster in the subways in New York City. Wow, good stuff, man.
I think it's like there is like a new movie, Godzilla versus King Kong or something like that.
I have, that's an old one. Yeah, I got that.
Did you like it?
Godzilla, King Kong doesn't look like his normal self in that movie. They had a weird outfit. He's got a funny face in that one.
Yeah, and it's probably like CGI only, so yeah. Probably.
And then I liked all those other weird ones. It was like the giant turtle. What was that guy? Remember him? The giant
Gamma.
Yeah, I got all those.
Yeah. I have like to do this Godzilla marathon, like from 1954 onwards, like to watch them, for a day until I die or something like that. Until I pass away, like you watch Godzilla 54th part of Godzilla and then you die.
So yeah, that's interesting because if you think about movies and stuff like that nowadays, with all the computer technology, they don't do movies anymore. It's like all these kind of adventure movies are like all animated stuff like that.
No,
and they've got it down to
actually, they do it with people. Like they have
Yeah.
these green clothes, but then they do it. They use it like for CGI.
Right.
I don't know how, but yeah, that's how they like. You have a person that has some green clothes and green background or whatever, and that's how they do it. Like nowadays,
that whole industry is changing. Like,
isn't it all crazy computers now? Probably all computers.
And then not only that, the whole world is becoming like this.
Like graveyard.
It's very interesting.
The whole world is.
I'm saying it's like it's separating from reality. So living in the virtual world. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like this is cool virtual world, but this is communications and stuff like that. But like people are like living in a world like this. You understand?
And did you watch?
And then people watching this world, and then they're getting their information. You understand what I'm saying? They're getting information. They can be told, or and that I think a big thing we'll talk about that in the next album, maybe about that kind of crazy fuck shit that IT is doing right now. That is actually able to manipulate people and move people and arrange people and make them buy and make them not want to buy and make them feel good. And it's very interesting what they can do nowadays. They knew this all along actually, but it's getting out.
I tell you what, man, the mindset of the herd is really, really more in a bubble than it's ever been, man. And it's up to us to stay on our bubble of creativity for the next album and just make it, I refuse to conform, and I'm just not gonna. We're gonna try to be, unhinged, disturbing.
Fucking.
We never try to do anything. It just comes out. No. That's really what.
People, listen, man, Milos, you tell me, man, you listen to this album.
Yeah.
How many times you listen to this album? Honestly,
like more than 10 times.
Okay,
probably.
So like, what is it? How is it like? What I mean, because you said it's number 3 on your list.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is it? I mean, what is it disturbing? I mean, how do you define it? How do you define it?
Surprising, actually. Like that would be like my word, because you guys caught me off guard, like when I heard like this black metal kicking in and female vocals and like 22 minutes. And so like I think if I had to choose only one word, it would be like surprising, because it's like different from previous 2 albums, and it's like more straightforward. Great songs that last for a minute and a half, with some great riffs. So like that's what surprised me a lot,
The truth is, 10 songs out that we shouldn't have cut. It was 19 songs. This music, and we all chose these little. What was it? 9.
Songs.
We could have had 10 more songs on here. We could put out another album, both for Opus. And another album from Extinction of songs that we didn't even use for those as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's funny, but I keep saying if we would go back and use what we never used, we'd have all these intense albums all of a sudden. No.
And what about these 9 songs? How do they sound like when compared with these other songs on the album? Like, are they maybe longer or?
No, not necessarily. A lot of the ones we didn't use were probably about the same length. But they were just so radical that I think that's what it was. RAZ pretty much you pretty much made the choices of
it had the flow. It had that flow to it.
And what you felt with the songs.
These are the,
he didn't have the feeling to write something to it. Then I guess it wasn't chosen. But so whatever he was able to attach a theme or a song structure lyrically.
Most disturbing.
Went with, there was some definitely disturbing stuff that we didn't use. That I guess looking back, but we would have ran out of time, and it wouldn't have made it the list. It wouldn't have came out. I wanted to
check it out.
It said 2021. I didn't want it to be 2 years because you know we got all the signs coming up for new stuff now.
Yeah.
Like, that past is the past. That's gone. It's over. No.
Yeah.
No
Absolutely.
looking back. Graveyard is you can't go back. Once you get into the graveyard, you can't go back. That's it.
Oh, it's a one-time space-time pathway. This whole album experience. This was a test. It kicked open the door, and now we're going into a new direction. That's pretty much in that direction, and we'll take it to the next level with that. And that was what you just heard was pretty much. Just
and what about
that was funny.
video like Slaughterhouse?
Yeah, that.
So, who came up like with the idea for the song?
I got this animal squeal that came from the movie Mondo Cane, 1964, when they're kicking the dog and getting ready to chop it to make a nice, tasty little bowl of food in Singapore. And you get to sit in a restaurant and you get to pick the nice little puppy, and then they'll chop it into small little.
I mean, I can understand everything, but how can you kill a dog and eat it like
I know.
cat?
So I thought that was a
eat
good
your
sample.
snakes, eat monkeys, but don't eat cats and dogs, please.
Right.
Like.
I mean, meat is meat, right? Meat your meat. You have to kill your own meat.
But
to be a rule that in order to eat meat,
the industrialization of the industrialization of the meat industry is that's the industrial. I mean, the mass production of slaughterhouses. So I mean, it depends. You know, the funny thing, because I don't boast about this or anything. I talk about the shit like this, but I have not. After making the song and writing the lyrics to the song and doing the research that I did, I said, okay, I really don't want to eat meat anymore, so I'm cool. And I'm very cool, and I'm very cool with it, and I love it, man. So I'm happy with it. So
and for how long?
What they want to do, What's
the last time you had some bloody steak or what?
Oh, I haven't had bloody steak at all.
I'm kidding, but like, what's the last time you?
I've never had it, but actually, last night a friend took my friend out to a crab place because he's not a vegetarian or vegan.
Yeah.
So I went to a place like that. So I ate like crab, and. So it was nice. That was in a bag, boiled. But that's the thing. The taking of life and stuff like that, innocent life. That's fuck. I'm sorry, something's wrong with that. And doing it on a mass industrial. Hey, if you want to eat meat, there's the lamb. Cut the throat. Enjoy.
Yeah. You should switch from chicken's neck. So. That'll really get you to go vegetarian.
I mean, if I didn't, I can't be vegan. Sorry, but I just.
It's hard to sustain. I've tried it.
Like I had my, my uncle and father. They were like chopping heads of chicken, and they start running through the backyard with blood splatter. So I saw that shit when I was a kid. So if I didn't become a vegan, then I will never be vegan. Sorry.
Chainsaw Massacre. They die better with the hammer. They die better that way. Oh, man.
Sick.
Wow.
And,
Can you? Just choking on the bone. Chicken's blood. Chicken's blood. Remember that one? That's fucking what do you call that's Goat Lord.
Goat Lord.
From
yes.
The fucking
Somersault.
Chicken dance. And that guy was total graveyard. That guy was graveyard. And he fucking went out and he killed his neighbor and his neighbor's kid, and then he killed himself. That's fucked up, man. That shit's fucked up. That's shit, man.
Yeah, that's really sick, man. And so what about Gruesome Forest? I really like this song. Like, what did you guys have in mind with that song?
I think Custodian Killer's Darkthrone feelings wants to write songs. Somebody has had some Darkthrone come out there, and I said, yeah, I like that because that's what he likes about Darkthrone. That's what I like about Darkthrone. So it's like we have this bond, right? So like for example, Coroner. Actually, we met each other when we first started Graveyard. We started playing like Coroner because we had this bond with it. Certain parts of Coroner, yeah, that's the perfect part. And we said we want to do a band with those kind of beautiful parts in it. So that when I'm doing some Forest, it's just he had that part there, and we got it together, and that's the song. So I said, and then I said, Claude, I said, Custodian Killer, listen, man. I said, right here, what do you hear? He goes, I hear keyboards. I said, that's exactly what I hear too. And so we did it.
That's cool. There. That's actually one of the best songs on the album, like one of my favorite, definitely. And what about demonic vocals? Like you had a lot of these, like I don't know if you use some effect or like some tube that you did like before.
I don't use electronic effects. I just I use my little tube for the recording purposes with the mic.
Can you do it now?
Well, there's more than one. It's a double-sided. There's two angles. There's all right.
Do it.
Is this one? Hold on. There's that. I'm out of breath. That helps with the tone in the mic sometimes. I can.
So you didn't use like any effects, or you did use some effects?
Whatever was done with the mix, the mastering, that's what Erhan did.
I'm not in Istanbul. Really. I'm the backup guy. Raz is the one that does all the really.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, but I think the next album's gonna have a lot more death and Custodian Killer in it. I definitely. Yeah, I know. I'm sure. No, because I can hear it, and I'm listening, and he's gonna send me the files, and I'm going to check it out, and it's like, I can hear a lot of fucking Custodian Killer in those songs. So that's really dark. Just like the second Graveyard release we did, which was called Vacation Dinner at the Morgue.
Yeah.
That's all Custodian Killer on the vocals.
That's cool. And what about Generation Gulag?
Yeah, that one's Winston Churchill, right? The sample. You got that.
But it doesn't, to me, it doesn't sound like Churchill. I know it's like something like World War II related, but to me, it doesn't sound like him.
Oh, that was when they agreed with the Russians. Oh no. That was for Gruesome Forest. That's at the end of Gruesome Forest. That talk by Churchill was tied to Gruesome Forest because it was about the subject of Gruesome Forest, which is the people that were betrayed, the refugees that were betrayed by the convention.
So that's what they talked about.
Yeah, because so Churchill was saying, "Don't worry, everything's okay, and we come to an agreement, everything's nice, everything's gonna be great," and then they sends them back, and they all kill themselves. Basically.
Churchill is like one of the biggest. To me, like what he did, like Serbia, to Yugoslavia. He's one of the most responsible people for Tito's Yugoslavia coming into power.
All the communist bloc, man, that was all faults. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, but like in case of Yugoslavia, he was the one who supported Tito. Like he supported the civil war and supported Tito. Yeah, and actually, he's like responsible for Yugoslavia being a communist country. So, fuck you, Winston Churchill. I hope you rot in hell.
It's hard, man. Very hard. Yeah. World War II, man. Think about that World War II. That was rough shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what about Spiritually Deformed? This one sounds really cool.
Spiritually Deformed.
Like the title is so good,
Mankind, inferior creature, spiritually and physically deformed.
Yeah.
All right. You know what we should have done? I should have started playing it from the beginning. Oh well, we're learning. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's interesting. There you go. That's right there is a classic. That tone was on the first demo we ever did. It's like that guitar. It's an Araya. 1986 Araya Pro 2 Stray Cat. Cheap piece of crap guitar that I just got worked on. And I like the way you made this sound like it was in a subway. You were like, you know, it sounds like an announcement.
Yeah, cool. It's cool
It was
song.
good.
Oh, and then it's like, oh yeah, Custodian Killer explained.
And
This is all one take. We never did any takes. Everything was one run through.
yeah,
You
that's
know, as far, and then we went back and dubbed, of course. But the whole initial ideas just came through. You know, one shot.
yeah, that's cool. And Fed to the Wood Chipper. I mean, I died laughing when I saw this one. Fed to the
Wood chipper.
Yeah.
That's rough, man. That's fucking rough.
There is some
Yeah, there was a movie like that too.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, but
give me a second.
that we're talking about the industrial wood chippers, the fucking things that eat trees, you know.
Yeah, it's in Fargo. Like there is a scene, Fargo, the wood chipper
Right,
scene,
right.
and like
Yeah.
some guy comes in, you know. Yeah, it's sick.
No, we're talking about the industrial side wood chippers.
And I remember, like, I was like, well, man, what is a wood chipper? And then I, like, you know, copy paste, go to Google Images, paste, and I was, you know, I died laughing. Yeah. Like, wood chipper.
You see the side, the ones that eat trees. You see that?
Yeah.
It's a tree.
Utility
So
pole
that-
company brings
that's
it
what
around
it
in
is.
storms.
Big. It's like nothing. It's like pudding. Nothing.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like meat industry machines. Yeah. And
Is
what
that-
about Don't Get on
Oh.
That Ship? What is this song about?
That one.
What is that song about?
No,
Don't.
man,
No, it's what that. You want to talk about the songs, what they're about? That's a big thing. Like, don't get on the ship.
Get on that ship, man.
Everybody's getting on the ship right now. The world's getting on the ship right now.
Yeah.
Some people get on the ship. Some people don't get on the ship.
Yeah.
We're saying don't get on that ship because our goal.
You're going down. It's the Titanic.
The ship. And right. Okay. Follow the path. Follow the path. Don't get the ship on that.
Yeah.
Not the right long path. Time is running out.
And
Don't go.
and Torture to Death. Like, what inspired you for this one?
Inspired me.
50 seconds long. The song is 50 seconds. Torture you to death.
It's torture, man.
Fucking great.
Torture too.
And I
Yeah.
noticed, like, in the last one,
Just
you have
kidding.
like
Torture
some guy.
too.
In the last song, Time Ran Out, you have some guy like saying time is running out. Who is that guy? Like some German speaking.
Yeah.
The time is
Not that
running out.
Yeah, from Messiah from Switzerland.
So it's him actually.
That's no Messiah.
I don't know where you came up with that one.
Love Messiah, man.
This
So
guy right here.
Yeah.
This guy.
lies.
Time is running out. Not tomorrow.
Right now.
Right now.
Is that Klaus Schwab?
Is that who that is?
I don't know.
And it goes. Right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Time, man.
And did you guys even like plan on touring or something like that?
Maybe one day. You know. I'm
Life
then,
has
you know, I wouldn't rule it
been
out. We haven't done
a
it. You know.
slave to corporate world.
So
We are
did you ever perform live? Like
live.
with the band, you know,
Did
live?
do it once, right? Sponge and Sweat. One time.
Custodian Killer was
One
that.
time.
That's it.
And when was
Custodian-
that?
Was it 1989? No. Yeah, something like that. 1990, 89 or 1990.
That's sick, yeah. And do you have some like recollections of this show, like some memories from that show?
It was early graveyard.
Nobody was there, but maybe.
We're playing to a fucking
Very few
jukebox.
people were there. They were the chosen few.
Yeah.
Fucking knows that music, man. Come on.
Once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
We don't. That's it. Yo, I don't know. Who fucking knows? If it gets some technology, has some shit going on that you can do, and you can fucking do back screen shit, radical shit like that. Custodian Killer get on the fucking. He'll do it, man. He fucking can do it. That guy's fucking amazing. I'll pay fucking base. It's not a big deal. And Jorgensen, man, he's fine. No problem. We'll do it, man. If we can do it, we'll do it, man. It's not a big deal. But right now, it's not possible. Custodian Killer, man. Custodian Killer, man. This is not a joke. Custodian Killer.
Yeah, I was really pissed off. I wanted to go to a Vader concert, and they canceled the whole tour.
Yeah.
So pissed off.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. I don't know if we'll ever get away from it. They say we got to learn to live with it. That's what they keep telling the people.
Well, they can suck it.
Yeah,
but I was so pissed off because I can't remember like what's the last time I went to a concert. It was Mugla, I think, something like that. What was your last concert that you've been to? Like, do you even remember?
I saw Autopsy, man.
Wait to SARS 26.
I don't remember. I'm thinking, I haven't already. Oh yeah, no, I went to go see Coroner and Messiah in Switzerland.
Yeah, in Switzerland. Yeah. You told me what was that show?
Yeah,
like?
Schmear's group was there. Those girls. He has a band. Witch Trap or something. Witch Hunt or something. I don't know, man.
Was it a good show, like Coroner, live in Switzerland?
No, Coroner didn't play. That was the thing, man. I was bummed, man. But they were like, oh, he's the guitarist. His hand, his arm has injured and stuff like that. So, yeah, what it is, man. It was. I saw Messiah. That was like the last show of the singer and stuff like that. That was cool. It was nice. I brought my wife there and stuff like that. So we hanging out. It was great. We had a good time. Fucking Switzerland is like such a cool place. It's like just like Switzerland is like, okay, let's sit down and talk. They're rational people. It's like they're not fucking. They make sense. So it's like I enjoyed it. And it was a great time. I don't know about Custodian Killer. What was your last show, man?
Yeah.
The last show I've gone to? Holy shit. I don't remember, man. It's been so long ago. I think somewhere, probably in the Roxy, late 90s, maybe. I haven't seen the show.
You saw
I've gone to shows in metal shows
Destruction?
the last 20 years. I've been like underground. I've just been listening to music. I think the last show I ever went to was probably in the late 90s.
Destruction? Was Destruction?
The Wetland. I saw Destruction somewhere. Where the hell did I see him? I saw them. I can't remember where. They were not Sundance. It might have been Sundance. That was a long time ago. Oh my God.
It was a small bar you said, man.
And are you planning to release more videos for these songs?
I think so. I think this is Raz. You're making the videos. He made that last video was so brutal. I watched it once. I can't even watch it again. It's so because I'm not big on.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I hate having to kill something, but it's like it makes you aware for sure. But it's all PETA footage. I got a disc of that stuff, man. Them slamming baby pigs against concrete. Oh man, it's so brutal, man. And it's hard to watch, but I'm glad he made the video because if it woke somebody up, that's cool,
Did you watch the movie Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah, I have that movie. When the guy's coming blood, yeah, it's sick, right? That's it, yeah. Yeah, he cuts himself. It's fake, but it's pretty sick, pretty good.
Yeah,
I had that on videotape. Yeah, that's a cool one.
And
Cannibal
since
Holocaust.
you guys have a lot of these, parts of movies like samples.
I have a big collection of movies. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I collect a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. I'm into the horror movies, you know.
It's gotta
Horror,
be,
all
it's gotta
kinds
be
of weird movies too. You know, bizarre movies. I got a vast selection of samples, and I'm always gathering more. And I have like a database of samples, and I edit them down, and I use them for my music. I use them to play in between songs, or I'll use them in the recordings. And he comes up with them. We're always looking, you know, it's always constantly increasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, never ends. You know, you find a new sample every other day. You never know
Yeah.
what you come across. I
And
always keep for artwork too, for covers.
how many guitars do you have in the studio?
I have 50. I only have 57. 57.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I have
which one was
450 guitar pedals. Yeah, I got a lot of. I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, I have 57 stringed instruments. So
yeah, that's sick. And what was your first guitar?
my first guitar was a Rhythm Line Les Paul. I got it in 1977, and that it was a Les Paul imitation. I used it to learn, and actually, I also had a classical guitar, and that was another thing I started to learn how to tune on. Then I ended up getting my first Gibson Les Paul in the city, used for $450. I went to some music store in Manhattan.
Ash.
Yeah, and then there I just started, you know, getting guitars, losing them, getting more, you know, and I started just keeping them, you know, and using them. And a lot of guitars I wish I had, I don't have, and I've got a nice collection that I'm happy with. I mean, I don't have every kind of guitar there is, but I've got what I need, you know. Graveyard, we only use like three guitars for that, you know, for this sound. Like I said, I use the current
I love
album.
this riff, man.
What we're listening to now is the Araya Pro, the area, or what are they called? Actually, it's right here.
Dude, that guitar
Yeah,
fucking
it's sick riff,
was
man.
never
This
checked up.
guitar
It was
right
never.
here is the Araya Pro, Area Pro, Stray Cat 2 Series, 1986. I just had fretwork done on it, and this is what you're listening to here. And
Yeah, that's cool, man.
you know, so this is it, and
But the recording was the last sound.
yeah, I tuned it
And-
to C,
and
and this one's tuned to C. So I use this. I use an SG from 1970. I use a 1971 Gibson Gold Top, and between these three, that's pretty much the Graveyard. Because on the last album, Raz was playing the Gold Top guitar. So those are the three Graveyard instruments, and those are usually tuned to standard. This one we keep in C. Vacation Dinner in the Morgue was tuned to B because I was listening to Entomb, and I had the Boss Heavy Metal HHM2 pedal, which they used, so I was influenced by them at that point. I like that Sweden stuff that I was listening to, Entombed and Napalm Death. You know, Napalm Death was big. I love, you know, big influence. Bill Steer, you know, Carcass.
Yeah.
He was big influence to me very much. Appreciated what he did. There's so many others, you know. I mean, I'm always going to leave somebody, you know, leave a bunch out. But Immolation, I liked a lot of the Florida metal stuff that was coming through. You know, of course, everybody, you know, Cannibal Corpse, obviously. We lived across, you know. I mean, we lived in the same area as Suffocation and those guys, and
Yeah, that's sick, man.
you know, Napalm and many other bands that floated through the area. You know, but Well, I came in contact with Will Raymer from Mortician during the 90s at the Wetlands. Hung out with him for a little bit. I think we were at a carnivore show in the 90s. I was going to a lot of shows in the 90s. The
And
90s,
how
I was
crazy,
a lot. I
how
was
crazy was like watching Suffocation in the 90s? How crazy was
yeah,
that?
they're early, like 1990, seeing Suffocation. They were seeing Obituary come through. There was a club here on Long Island called Sundance that all the big legendary metal guys,
Yeah.
INC, Indestructible Noise Command, came through with these Randall stacks, and they rumbled the hell out of the place. That was great. We saw Creator. You know, just so many bands came through, and you know, it was just a sound. You know, back then it was amazing. You know, the sound today is so much different. I mean,
Well,
it's
it's more
sound today.
sterile.
It's so much different. You know, that
Yeah.
true '90s metal sound. You know, like the way they played the drums and the way the guitar rips ran. Just, you know, I don't think it'll ever be repeated again. You know.
Yeah, because it was done live. You know, you had to record
There was a lot.
everything.
Yeah, there was a lot of feel to it, man. That it's just the feel today is just. I mean, it's natural. It's a different world. You know, it's like any great artist. You're gonna play what you play. Represent yourself in the time where you are now.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
like,
that's what we do with what we did. All the releases we've been putting out is where we are in that particular time. And each year should be different, you know, because you're living something different, you know, different set of problems and different set of circumstances.
And I remember like when I realized what drum triggers are, like I wanted to make an intro, you know, for
Right.
the for my website or whatever. So I had a great riff, but I needed like the drums, and I asked the guy from Gorguts, you know, the
Yes.
drummer.
Mm.
I asked him
Sounds
to
good.
do it, and then he sent me this file, and it sounded horrible. And he told me like, you just Patrick Robert, you know, and he just told me like, you put this into some program and put some metal drums or like sound, and it was gonna sound great. And it actually did, like, you know, and I was like, man, so these are triggers, you know, they completely changed the way like drums feel. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, the trigger thing is not, you know, it's tough, you know. I mean, I understand everyone wants to have a great sounding record, you know, and then you want it to sound the best you can. As long as it, you know, I look at it like this. It's like Pink Floyd, how they looked at it. You know, everything is a tool, and you can use the tool, and don't let the tool hinder you, or don't let the tool limit you, or box you in. You know, if you use it for what's best for you, you know.
Wow, sounds cool.
C6 or A6 tuning. Which, yeah, I have. This is one of my cheap lap steels, a double neck lap steel. I have one to C6 and one to A6. So,
yeah, it sounds beautiful, man.
You'll never know what will end up on the next album. Let me tell you.
That's Frozen Corpse Studios, man.
I
That's
wish,
a
you know,
sick-
I can't grab the computer and actually, you know, show you because I would have to do this on my phone or something. But yeah, we'll make a video one day of the tour of it.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, you can like do it with your phone. Just go to the studio and talk stuff. You know, that would be cool.
I'm proud
Because you have like 57 guitars, man. That's a lot. And what's like the guitar that you're the most proud of?
Vinyl too. There's also vinyl as well.
Well, I'm down to 3,000. Yeah, I had about 8,000 vinyl, and I in my life I've cut it down about 3, and I'm gonna be cutting it down probably to, you know, half of that to a little over 1,500. You know, because it's after all these years, you know, it's a lot.
Yeah. And what is the guitar that you're the most proud of? Like,
wow.
Say, hey, this is like my best guitar ever, or whatever.
The best guitar
Ever.
By the by, that Araya Pro was never. It was the original from the day one, 1990 till the last album. Time was the Araya Pro.
This is like up there for me. Is this my EDS 1275?
That's cool.
Gibson, not a chip, and it's It's a 12 string, and it's all solid mahogany. It's a 1993,
That's
and
cool.
modified it, and it's just let me see. It's not of course plugged in, but it's out of tune.
Yeah, and it sounds like Zeppelin, you know. Yeah.
It's out of tune, you know.
Yeah, but it sounds so beautiful, you know.
Oh, they're totally out.
I know.
That's
Yeah, they're out of tune, and the next is starting to go.
And for how long are you playing guitar?
Since I was about 11 years old. Yeah, 11. So it's 57. An old man now. So yeah, I'd say about 30, 40 years probably.
Yeah,
You know?
that's cool.
Yeah, just I'm still going. I mean, you know.
666.
Anyway, it's one of my favorites. You asked?
Yeah, like
And we
I went
actually
with my
that's
friend.
on that is on the Opus V. Opus V is that guitar's on Opus V, right?
Yeah, that's cool, man.
On the album Opus V. And that there's an intro. I'm like it's like I talk about like being in a dream or something like that if it was reality, and that you can hear he's playing that riff on that guitar.
Yeah, that's
On Opus V, right, Claude? On Opus V,
Yeah,
you use that guitar.
that it appears on there. Yeah. Yeah, but
And
there's
like-
so much we utilize. You know, we have tons of effects. I'm an effects collector. I have 450 Ultra Harmonics pedals, and
I mean, I have only one guitar, you know, it's some cheap Ibanez GRG 120 some shit, you know. But I went to my friend and he had like signature Dimebag Darrell model, you know, like he bought it from America, you know. He actually like got it from the factory, you know. And it's not a copy, it's original, but he had like some really cheap guitar, like some Aster or something, like the cheap 100 euros guitar, you know. And I tried to play his Dimebag Darrell signature, but like the neck was so wide and I couldn't just play it properly. But then I used his cheapest Aster guitar for 100 euros, and the neck was so good, man. I was flying. It was like, you know, it was a thin neck, you know, because I have small fingers, and I was shredding it, bro. So yeah, like you can have like your Dimebag Darrell guitar, but if it's not fit for your fingers, you know, it can cost like even $5,000 or whatever. So yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Back in the day, so that's what the 90s and shit. So yeah. I mean, like they're probably gonna have a Chuck Schuldiner guitar, I think, right? Do they have one out or not?
Oh yeah, there is one.
There is. There's a Tommy T. Barron guitar, I think.
Wow.
A signature guitar for everything now.
And what was like the most memorable show ever? Like the best concert that you went to, Raz?
Me?
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of shows. I mean, I don't know.
Like if you had to pick one.
They played S&M bar, and no, I saw 3-piece play that. Like that's it. I quit back then. I'm never attain that kind of height. So why even try? I just said, fuck that. Bro, I left, and then I went overseas. That's when I went overseas. But yeah, that's probably one of the best shows I saw. Coroner, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was the No More Color tour. I guess
Wow,
it was like
that's a sick album. Yeah, I like Coroner.
and they played it to a T. Nothing. It was perfect. It was.
Yeah, they were phenomenally great. Yeah, I saw Tommy T. Barron at Sundance. They were really one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And man, they were like the Rush of metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really, seriously, they were
like
That's
to me.
That's a good comparison.
To me, they always like they stood out like I don't know, like Swiss Voivod maybe, like, but like on first two albums they were like really technical, but then they became more dissonant like Voivod, you know. So
Yeah.
like they changed their sound, which was great, you know. Like to have
we didn't like that at the beginning. At the beginning, die-hard Coroner fans from the beginning, early albums, were not very comfortable with that sound.
Yeah.
Right? I actually missed the next two albums. I missed Mental Broadcast because I was overseas and I was living in Turkey, and it was like, okay, but I couldn't find Coroner, and there was no internet back then too. So to get that album was rough. Anyway, so I missed that, and I also missed the other one. So I listened to Coroner later on, and I was like, wow, these albums are perfect. They're amazing. It's beautiful music.
Yeah,
and, the Swiss are just like that, they get mentality. But what's beautiful about that, and you mentioned it too, was that Coroner is like different. They're not. They're in a style. The Voivod you're talking about is Voivod is in Canada. There's no other Voivod in Canada.
Yeah.
So in Switzerland, or even in the world, if you compare the two bands, there's no bands like them. And especially when you run a three-piece, right? Or Voivod being four-piece, Snake is singing. So it's like that kind of metal, and that's what I don't think that feeling in metal is around anymore. There's the bands that are really like true to that style.
Yeah.
Like even Voivod is still continuing to play, man.
Yeah.
And it's great, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Seeing away from the drum, he's playing like a 4/5.
Did you hear two new songs?
Voivod?
Yeah, two new songs. They're crushing. Like Paranormalium and some other. I can remember the title, but yeah.
And and the topics are great too.
Yeah. And what about like you mentioned Turkey? So what is like scene in Turkey like? Can you tell me like something?
It was good. When I first went there in '92, it was like there was nothing really much going on. I mean, it was like the Turkish metalers, but there was really no bands that were coming to Turkey.
Yeah.
But then like I was funny because there was some bands playing, and like a Turkish metal bands, they were more like trying to be like Metallica bands. I was hanging out in a bar one day, and some guy comes up to me. He says, "Hey, you hear that Saddam's going to come to Turkey?" And I said, "Oh, really? That's good. That's nice." But I don't like, because this was like a couple after. It was after Agent Orange. So I said, I mean, I'm not really that following Saddam that much anymore. Yeah. And I said, who's who's the opening group? Oh, he says, oh, this name of this band. They're called, and it's in Turkish. He says, yeah, he said Panjur Sesi, which means the sound of window blinds going up and down. I said, what? What's the name of that band again? And so he said it, and I was like, you mean Pungent Stench? So that was, and I said, I'm going to that show. And I went there, and it was that. Actually, you want to talk about the best shows that I went to that show, and I staged on that set. I like 15 times, and it was total chaos. And they had the police came in and stopped the show. It got so violent. It was great. It was an amazing show. And he was, Shrank was like, he's like, hey, calm down, please, slow down.
Tell him the story you told me that you met him or something. You said you traveled all the way there, and he said you're fucking stupid. You told me the story, whatever. Something about. He said he had his arms folded. Something. Tell the story. It's great.
Yeah, I went there. And also, these other shows are great too, man. Well, yeah, there were a lot of great shows, man, in the past. But yeah, no, it was like at that Punch and Stench show.
Yeah.
And I got backstage because I knew a writer, a magazine writer in Turkey. So he had backstage passes. So we went backstage. And like, I saw Shrank and I think the bassist too, which is that the bassist was the Polish guy. He's not in the band anymore. So, and actually the drummer's gone too, but they all split up and everything. But back then they were the 3-piece. And I said, Punch Stench. I came away from America just to see you guys. And he was like hanging out there. So he was like, yeah, you are pretty fucking stupid. I was like, Punch and Stench. That's great, man. And that was total chaos. It was total chaos.
Yeah.
Claude and I we've gone to shows in the past too. We saw Destruct. What shows did we see in the past together? We saw some shows together.
Yeah, we did. One show that I really was that sticks in my mind is I saw Voidvod open up for Rob Halford's Fight. Remember Fight? At Limelight in Manhattan, the church. And that was a crazy night, man. That place was packed. Voivod was intense that night, man. I was right in the front in the pit area of this church. The Limelight was a church in Manhattan, you know.
And was it a show with Piggy or not?
And Rob Halford was just out of Priest and was doing this band called Fight.
Yeah, I know, like Fight is a great
album.
Band. Yeah.
And I was there in that concert. That was a real memorable. I mean, Voivod was just so incredible that night.
So
they were better than
was,
Fight.
Yeah,
Piggy was there. Was with Piggy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yes.
And how crazy was Piggy? I mean, like he's one of the best guitarists in metal. Like one of the most unique, original sounding guys. Like. The way he brought like dissonant chords to metal, and it like completely changed, like the metal as it is, with his dissonant vibes and everything, like broken chords, the wrong notes. That's what I like about.
That's right. That's right. The intonation has to be off. I mean, here's the funny part about like just on the same subject, but time ran out. My guitar hadn't been repaired in 25, 30 years. And all that is dead notes and out of it.
It's like choking
some the album. I got the instruments worked on. Tonight it's worked on, and that's why it's going to sound different. It's going to have a different sound for sure. But now I actually have the frets leveled and crowned, and sometimes, like I remember Burzum, Varg was telling the story about in the early days of how when he made the first Burzum record, he was looking for the most horrible sounding little amp he could find to get,
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Sound and just record that. And so we were always influenced by that. We had limited equipment at the time too in the 90s.
Dude, I was in Norway. I went to fucking that Transylvania. There was I think a bar called Transylvania or something like that.
Yeah.
In the Oslo, I went there and I went to meet Fenriz. That was like in 19. What was it? It was 1998 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I contacted Moonfog to meet with Fenriz, and I went to Norway to do an interview for a magazine in Turkey, man. And I went there, and into the bar. I came into the bar, and I said, "Yo, Fenriz," because I asked Moonfog guy, the owner of this, I guess his name's Sadr. He said, "So you're gonna find Fenriz at Elm Street." That's the name of the bar, Elm Street. And he said, "Okay, so I'll go there and I'll see. You just go talk to him, and that's it." So I went down there, and I said, "Yo, Fenriz, this is Raz, and I came from Turkey to do an interview with you." And he's like, he looks at me, he goes, 7 churches. And I was like, yes, let's start now. And that was it. I was like, fucking perfect, man. That guy is so fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
He is a cool guy, man.
So you also like interviewed Chuck Schuldiner. Can you recall that? Like that's really cool story, I think.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was back. That was fucking when the Leprosy just first came out. That was back. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah, that was my first. I was working for a radio station. I started a metal program, and
That's how I met you.
Yeah, that's how we met. Custodian Killer.
Rez.
So the thing was this. I went down and I was like, I did the interview. I was like kind of nervous. I said, Death is coming. I might as well go interview them. And I talked to the record company because I said I play Death all the time on a radio show. He's like, okay, I'll put you on the guest list. So they put me on the guest list, and I went backstage and I was like, hey, I was like, Evil Chuck, what's up? And he's like, oh man, I'm Chuck, man. I'm not evil, man. I was like,
yeah, that's cool.
like, oh, dude, that was great. And then I had to do the interview. It's like,
yeah, that's cool, man. Like, and was he like a chill dude?
Oh yeah, he was cool, dude, man, for sure.
Like, on stage, totally different person. Off stage, not the same person.
Yeah.
And in the song, between the songs, he's kind of like Chuck, but not really Chuck. It's different.
And you know what's funny with him? Like the way he looks, he's like, especially like on first three albums, like he's so skinny, but he has this monstrous voice, like, you know, like one of the best.
The big jawbone, man.
Yeah, but like just type, you know, Death Live 1990. He's so skinny, and then like he started working out, and you know, became like bigger, you know, his constitution. But like before, he's just a skinny dude, and like with these monstrous vocals that sound like I don't know if you know Lord of the Rings, like Nazgul, you know, this drag.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
sick, man. That's the road, man. You can't, if you want to be a professional musician and play on the road, you have to commit to a lifestyle like health and fortitude, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, party and have a good time is great, but it comes to a point. Then that's like you got to be serious, and that's
absolutely, yeah.
Like Graveyard would never live on the road because we'd get strung out.
Well, this is the big thing. That's
like
the destruction right now with Mike not being in it. You know, for me, you know, it's like that band is still great, but
Mike left.
without Mike in it, I have you know, I mean, I love and I'll always be supportive constantly of them. You know, but it's just there's a chemistry that's just not there anymore, and the guy didn't take care of himself.
Yeah, but why he left the band?
It's pretty obvious why he's not in it. It's because he's, you know, he's got, like you just said, to be able to make the adjustment of your lifestyle for your age now.
Yeah.
You know, time don't stand still, and you change every decade. And if you don't, you're not gonna be here, like most of my friends. And
so you think like he left because of some drugs issues or something?
I think so. I mean, you know, just it's pretty much, if you watch the interviews with Schmier, you know, I mean, he's pretty much doesn't come out and say it, but
yeah. I mean, I met
that you can't sustain the way you're going, and you have to be on top of that shit, and you know, and plus, you know, it comes to a point where your mindset where you don't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it, you know. So it's hard to imagine that after almost exactly.
Dude, can you play
ever?
Best Invasion? Fucking.
Yeah, I love that song so much, man. Yeah.
It's just a great thing, you know. But things change.
I mean, how many times can you play Bestial Invasion?
Bestial Invasion.
Yeah, and then party. And dude, he's partying. You party. You can't party. You can't party at all. Zero.
Yeah.
Schmier is the guy. He says, "Look, I'm fucking serious about Destruction, and we're going to do this job. We're going to kick ass." And he kicks ass. And Destruction gives a kick-ass show, and needs his people being kick-ass. And he said, "You're going to get in line, and kick ass, or what?" And he said, "I'm sure." He said, I got to take care of things first."
Yeah, I took a photo with Mike, you know, at Exit Festival, when he was still in the band, you know, when I interviewed Schmier. But yeah, like he was a really cool dude, and like, I want to interview him as well, but he wasn't in the mood for the interviews, which was bad, you know. But yeah, like, you know, I don't want to push people if they don't want if they don't feel like to, you know, to be interviewed. So yeah, like, but he's such a cool dude. He and his hair looks so, he's like a really short dude, you know, he's really small and like, but he has like some really great looking hair, you know, so badass. And when he starts playing, it's madness.
Guitar
And
playing.
like
is
Shamir
great.
is like a giant. Shamir is like so tall, man. Like he's like literally a giant, like 2 feet, 2 meters tall or something like
I
that.
love Destruction. They're definitely
So
big
it's an influence of ours. Yeah, it's like, you know, like you said though, you know, it's all tied in. You know, our heroes and you know, the same shit happens to them. You know, if you can't keep
Yeah.
it together, keep it. It's not even just the drugs. You know, it's all your health too.
Life and
I mean,
everything.
look, you know, look at Possessed. How many guys are dead in the band?
Yeah,
you
but
know,
Possessed
you know,
actually
it's just
sounds
like,
great
you know,
to me.
all kinds of factors happen. You know.
Yeah.
Weird shit, you know. But I mean, I mean, how many bands like Morbid Angel are going to turn into the Rolling Stones and just never go away? You know how the
Yeah,
Stones are like, they're only going to be gone when Mick Jagger's dead. The Who is only going to be gone when Pete Townshend's dead, because
Yeah.
they'll go on
Die
until,
Hard.
yeah, those guys will not stop.
Yeah.
But they'll stop when they stop.
Dude,
So how many metal
Neil
bands
Young.
continue to be persevering? You know.
You know, like Lemmy. Lemmy was such a great
Oh,
guy.
man, there
Like
you go, Lemmy.
he actually, I saw
Lemmy
him
in
like,
my book
yeah, I
now.
saw him like on his last tour, and it was like Exit Festival 2015, and he was basically, you know, like dead on stage already. He was already dead
Yeah,
basically,
yeah, right.
and like, but he was still doing it. You know, he probably wanted even to die on stage, and he finished the
The
tour, and then
Smith was doing.
he finished the tour, and then he died like 2 weeks after the tour or something like that. So yeah, like he's a hero. Yeah, like
Oh
he,
yeah, Hawkwind for me. All of his
Spirit.
Hawkwind. I have all the Hawkwind albums, about 100,
yeah,
and he's on a good amount of the early one, all the early ones from '69 to '75, and then came back a couple times. And I that's where I knew Lemmy from, was the Hawkwind stuff, and the big
yeah.
Hawk
But I only know like one song, you know, Silver Machine. I never listened to
Well, that
Hawkwind.
was just a hit, but you got to hear like the
Yeah.
BBC 72 show or
Huh, yeah.
any of the
Because
early
I
stuff.
didn't know like where to start from, you
He
know.
wasn't the first bass player, but he's like the second or third. But yeah, they've had over 50 members. I have all the albums and everything. And
Yeah, that's cool.
but he's really, yeah. There's like 100. There's 100 albums literally. And
Yeah.
there's a lot to that band that it's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, Lemmy's a big part of that out of it there.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and his
And
mindset
like,
towards metal came from a very free form. Remember, don't forget, Lemmy had the Hendrix roadie job.
yeah.
He was a roadie for Hendrix. So
Yeah.
he was right in there with the fucking legend, you know, like
And you know, like what's
why
interesting,
he
like
is
that
legend. Was
he left the band because they were he was using different drugs from them. Like they
well,
were on acid and he was on speed, and
but
like
yeah,
these two
yes,
can't
two
fit
different
together.
two
Yeah,
different
like
guys, and they were at war. One, yeah, they were.
like two different lifestyles, probably two different mindsets,
Dave
two
Brock was
different
trying to tell him
approaches.
acid was organic, and
Yeah.
you know, we get high through organic, and Lemmy was like, "Fucking acid's not organic."
Yeah.
No, yeah, they were one half of the band was psychedelic, and the other half was stimulants.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was weird. A war of
And
drugs with the same band, a different style of drugs.
I don't know if you read his autobiography, Lemmy's, and
It's incredible.
when he like describes the 60s, and like literally you can take notes of how many different drugs he took, like all of these, you know, medicinal stuff, you know, drugs, like not cocaine or speed, but some, you know, I don't know,
He was
some
against
some
heroin.
some
He was
medication, yeah,
He,
some medication, but like, and then he goes and tells like
Dude.
what 100 different medications that they use to, you know, to get high.
Yeah,
And like he said, like 60s were like the age of innocence, because nobody knew what we're doing, you know.
It wasn't.
And like, yeah, and like, and afterwards, like, yeah, he talks about like how all of his friends died of heroin and his girlfriend. So yeah,
Right. And that's that. So he was more into coke, I guess, and pills.
yeah. I mean, he talked that he used acid on stage, but then he stopped.
Oh yeah, they all tried everything. I'm sure they had. It's like Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa was against drugs. He had definitely at some point in his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tried it.
Yeah.
And used it, even though he ended up being pretty much against it, having it as a rule in his band. Which of course, but he had that warped sense of having used drugs in his writing and atmosphere and his humor.
You
And
can't write about it if you don't know it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All the greatest. Hendrix got fucking acid when he was writing shit. All these guys, man.
Yeah, they were all on drugs.
Drugs. I mean, it's like every great musician. I mean, you fucking look at it. Mozart, he was on drugs. No.
Yeah, like I watched some interview with Rick Hunold of Exodus, and he told like that which I agree really, like every scene has its own drugs. Like back in the 60s, it was LSD. Then like metalheads were coke and methamphetamine or whatever. And grungers were they had heroin, and like all these drugs create different music. So yeah, like really cool stuff. At least there's something good out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the best music, man. Look at Sgt. Pepper. There you go.
Actually, I don't like the Beatles. I don't know why.
I know. I only bring them up because it's like it was. Whether you even like it or not, it was a creative album. That.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I never wanted like to listen to them because they sounded too poppy for me.
Not everybody wants to hear "Love Me Do."
Yeah.
So wait. So that's the change. Look, we did Opus V after when Lemmy we reformed Graveyard when
you told me he died.
Lemmy died.
Yeah.
That night we learned the night we learned, and we looked at each other and says, "Get on the instruments and let's jam."
Get on that ship.
Yeah, get on that. Yeah, we did get on that ship.
That was the ship we got on, right? So Graveyard is continuing to the grave. End of story.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
And the grave is like very close because time is running out. You understand?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Time is running out, man.
And what did you guys listen to lately? Like, what are you
I've been listening to probably my own music more than any now because I'm trying to finish these 9 songs. I just did 9 songs.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do, I think, close to 40 songs before we pick what we want. I'm trying to bang out as many different ideas, and so I've been listening to my own music more than I've been listening to other music. But when I have been listening to music, I've been putting on my Zeppelin bootlegs of 72, 75 for weird versions of Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then 75 is one that's 41 minutes long. Seattle, 321.75, and it's like a 41-minute version. I've been like, that song is so intense. Just the live versions, like in bootlegs, not the studio record. But
did you see them live? Maybe.
No, I never saw Zeppelin. I saw Page after in other bands. I saw the Firm. I saw the Outrider tour, and that was it. That was about it. Oh, I saw him with the Black Crowes with Jimmy Page at Jones Beach. Yeah, and that was it pretty much. But I just like that song. It's got so much to it. It's interesting. And those couple of years, as far as metal, I've been listening to Autopsy's latest album. What is it? It's the one with the drums on the skull. It's a Skull Crusher.
Yeah.
You've been listening to that? It's a pretty good album. You know, I like his ideas. I like Chris Reiford's. I like Eric Cutler's form of writing. It's just I feel a connection because I kind of write that way in a way, and I share a little bit of some of the feelings I hear on his records. I kind of feel on my own.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's.
I have a connection with that band. I like, support them. Anyway.
Yeah, and I interviewed him like, and I remember like really like
Yeah.
one sentence from the interview like, metal music is for freaks or something like that.
Yeah, they don't get credit.
Metal music is music for freaks. So it sounds like
Different minds. Graveyard. The people that listen to Graveyard are sociopaths or psychotics. We have a very sick following. You got to understand that.
Oh, it's
very disturbed people listen to Graveyard. So you consider yourself lucky.
Yeah.
A sociopath, yeah.
Yeah, not many people are to hear it. Only certain chosen people, because it's not music for everybody. It's only music for just
people don't understand.
Most people shouldn't hear it, and
have,
it's not really to be a popular music at all.
Did you have negative reviews or something like that going on?
I personally haven't heard a negative review of this. The only negative reviews I ever saw were of Vacation Dinner in the Morgue. I heard one. That was the one that they said sounded like 4 different songs playing at the same time.
That's a compliment.
I took it as a compliment. I didn't care. And there was always one or two, I mean, one of my favorite compliments was from Richard C. of Wild Rags, and I have the old Wild Rags catalogs, and he said that that Graveyard is for people who wear a padded jacket in a cell, and that people who would listen, serial murderers would be inspired by this music. He said that was very good. It's kind of true.
Every Dom video.
What was the philosophy?
We have a video.
RAZ. Philosophy was take as many with you as you can.
Yeah.
Take as many with you, man. Well, we started Slab Fest in 1989, 90, and then put it out in 91. But we were underneath in the tunnels of Stony Brook University, in the these giant tunnels that were filled with asbestos pipes that ran for miles. It seemed like, and they were like these abandoned classrooms, and we had these guitars with these little portable battery amps, and me and and a little pocket tape recorder, and we would run down there and get all high and drunk and play guitar and write all these ideas, jamming, and then we'd record it. And we was, remember that, RAZ? Remember that crazy place we went into? Or it was like,
I know, I have no recollection. Sorry. Probably I probably did shit like that.
Yeah, we sat in the van, and we were like, we would play with the little amp and the little tape recorder. We did that behind some bar in Southern State Parkway. I don't know. And then we would then when it came time to record, we drove all the way to Queens to Dave Miranda's house, and he was in Six and Violence and Ludacris. He had already recorded the Ludacris Power Trip album, and he was the drummer on the first recording, and he was great. He sat there, and I played at that point. Those were the days when we actually rehearsed the songs, knew them in and out, not making them up in one take. So we did this in a different manner, and he sat there and he just tapped on his knee, and then next thing you know, he said, okay, let's go ahead, and jumped on the kit, and we blasted it. Like, I think we did 2-3 takes. We chose what we thought would be the better one. He recorded it on his 4-track Fostex 4-track. We bounced it. I put a bass, you sang, and that was Slab Fest. I went to the library near me. I used the children's department for the book department for the photocopy machine, and I sat there and made album covers for cassette with serial murderers and everything on there, while little kids were reading little bunny books and everything, and mother's sitting there, no one's paying attention, and I'm just, smiling, and it was great. It was wonderful. Put out this. I went to this supply catalog, and I ordered stickers that they made for cassettes. And I, for when it came time for Vacation Dinner in the Morgue, songs like Chewed Priest and all that. They printed it all right up, no problem. They took a check. They printed out 50, to 100 labels. It was a religious supply catalog. It's great.
Yeah,
I was using all these things to put out this evil, demonic kind of music. It was fun.
Peace
Right in front of society,
But the title is like really cool, like Chewed Priest.
Rebellious.
Time is running out.
I like the title Chewed Priest a lot,
Chewed Priest. What Chewed Priest? Yeah. Immune to Burial. Die, Dead, the last song. We started with Destroy Yourself, didn't we? Yeah. No, wait.
That's the day when we were like going
originally called Drinking Drano, and then we changed it to Destroy Yourself. There was a million outtakes of all these I put on the CDs.
Of course, the massacre.
I've released all these on CD. They're all on my own Frozen Corpse, Immune to Burial records. We make our own, so we have all the bonus tracks and some outtakes and stuff for anyone who wants it. Basically, it's free. If anyone writes to P.O. Box, 960 Shoreham, New York, 11786, I'll send you free CDs. I don't charge for it. I put it out. We have on what is it, Opus V, right? We have 100 cassettes that were printed by Dead Generation Records. It's not like it's not like we make anything off of it. They're making it, but it's getting it out. It's fine, Bottom line, our music. Once we create the music here at Frozen Corpse Studios, and once it leaves here, it's out of my control. Unfortunately, it goes. RAZ will take it to Jam Session Studio in Turkey. It was an Ethran where he'll mix it and all that, and change it and do things. And I wish I could be there for the mixes.
Well, you got to come one time.
Part of the
see where it changed society.
Continent.
He's got to get a passport. We got to get a passport, Milos.
Actually, the last time I traveled was I told RAZ it was Slayer show in Bulgaria.
Nice.
And in the last show, and they were with Satyricon, and we had a blast. And after that, my passport expired, and then COVID started, and I was like, man, fuck it. I just, I can't go anywhere to, for concerts, so I was like, man, who cares? I'm not going to travel anyway, so yeah.
Traveling's really rough these days, man. It's rough. It sucks. So I don't know. The question is now, what's going on here? We don't want to go into stupid conversations about the other shit, but the real serious problem is that people are now confined to their homes and confined to computers, except for the people that can go out to work. And and that's it. And you are on program. Your entertainment.
Robots are doing physical jobs of industry, so they don't need you really. You're not.
We'll be replaced by AI. So
right, and robots do all the automated stuff.
And as time goes on, mankind can eat itself to death while the strong survive, or the rich survive. The reds still get rid of themselves, terminate themselves. The comic thing about the whole thing is that while they plan this, they don't understand that the whole world and the extinction is going to happen very soon. And then it doesn't matter. They have plans, but there are greater plans than they have.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, they can plan as much as they want. The planet has its own plans, so yeah.
Yeah, going through the old memory lane.
So, Milos, have you watched the other videos from Graveyard too, as well, or not?
Yeah, I watched the movie. like the whole movie a couple of times.
That's what I'm burning as we are having this wonderful, cool discussion. I'm making
Yeah, that's the
making
movie actually. Yeah.
100 of these slimline DVDs of the movie, and again, anyone who wants one, I will mail it to you for free. So I'm making 100, and that's it. And
Yeah,
That's sick, man.
and I'm
That's
going
some
to give everyone away. Every single one's going to be handed out. So if again, the PO Box 960, Shoreham, New York, or they can contact. That's basically the only way. It's just write us a letter, a postcard, anything. Put an address on there, and you'll receive one in the mail. I'll make sure.
self-stamped addressed envelope. SASE.
That's right. I used to do that. I don't even know. Anyone who really wants one,
Yeah, would you maybe like?
No, but you see, they're controlling the postal system now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Amazon is
Yeah.
running their own Amazon plug, is running their own planes and their own distribution network and logistics network. They're consuming society basically. So now all competition is now ceasing to exist.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
soon, it's
Yeah,
all going to
but
be under one dealer.
Yeah, it's like, Resident Evil movie, and like the intro for the movie is like, hey, there is this umbrella corporations, and they have 9 out of 10 products in your homes, and they make drugs, pharmaceuticals, and they make biological weapons. So yeah, like if they,
Consumption.
it's crazy, man.
And it's not, and try to stop it. You won't be able to stop it. So you can't
Yeah.
stop it. They say resist. I'm not involved in that world. I'm isolated. I'm gone. I don't go out and buy things anymore. I just like kind of live on the light, man. That's it. I don't need shit, man. I'm sorry about that. I don't need it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
I mean, I'm talking like I have a Tampa, my band, my team here, NFL team. That's funny, haha. But the thing is, no, I don't need shit, man. I'm cool, man. It's good for me. I mean, I work,
Yeah.
I do my own business, I sharpen my own knives, and that's cool. And I'm good by that, and that's all. I'm happy with that, and it's good. If I could play concerts, I would do that with Custodian Killer. But the thing is, what's going to happen? I'm not going to last. I die very soon. So forget about it. It's
Yeah.
good.
I want to put out as much music as I can. I would like to put out, from this point forward, Frozen Corpse Studios is undergoing a transformation. I've just gotten this new computer that we're on now.
That's
Using
cool.
and I'm trying to learn to work with it and transition myself. It's a long process. My other computer is my main workflow, and right now it's having problems. So, it's not booting up right. So yeah, technology it's kind of weird. I'm an analog guy who's recorded, on tape, and now, not now, but the last 3 releases, I've embraced doing digital recording, and and I use Logic Pro 9, and now I'm going to be switching over to Logic Pro 10 on a Mac Monterey 12.01. OS system. So it's some adjusting to it, and you got to read books, and some of it's the same as what I'm used to, but there's things I'm not confident with yet. So I'm still recording on a computer that's having issues, and but I'm still using Logic Pro 9. And I'm able to, we were listening to the tracks before, and everything's sounding all right. And I'm storing it off the computer on external hard drives, and I will be opening them up in Logic 10. And and then once it's done, it'll end up in Jam, I guess, Jam Session Studio or something like that. And definitely look for a release coming out this year. Maybe even, who knows? We'll see how far we can get. This is a new.
Nah, well, like I said, but that's cool. But like we
It's
put it
different.
out
Yeah.
when we want to put it out. Yeah, that's cool. Man. We put it
So
out.
content will be up to what Raz can throw out on any of the stuff that I'm trying to prepare. I'm just trying to be open to new ideas and just trying to let it happen and see what new. I'm searching for something new. with it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what I'm searching for, but I am like in the process. I never
Searching-
know what the hell I'm doing. To be quite honest with you, how's that?
Searching in vain.
Yeah, and
But
Raz, so
I
what?
really appreciate the support of you guys, for,
Yeah,
because we really have a total conviction to what we believe with our music. I believe in it, and even if no one else does, doesn't
Yeah.
change. We have the Hawkwind mentality that we do what we do, and if you like what we do, that's great. We love it too, and if not, that's fine too. It's all
Yeah,
great.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Raz, so like, what do you listen? I don't know if I ask you that. Like, what do you listen in your like lately? Like, what music?
Lately,
Yeah.
holy cow! You
What's
know
that?
what? I'll be honest with you. After this release, my brain is fried. So I need to recover, and I need to recover for the Maryland Death Metal Festival, which happens
Yeah,
in
that's
May. So
Fabulous.
I'll
And
fucking
which
go
bands are
watch,
announced there? Like,
dude.
who's
They're
gonna play?
fucking legendary bands, man.
Is it like 2 days?
I don't know, 3 days maybe. I maybe 3 days.
Yeah. I know like it has like 2 stages. Is that correct?
I don't have no idea. I don't go into details. I don't. That's then. I'll worry about it then. All I do is I know that the festival is happening. I'll go. That's the first thing. Is once they say, what do they say? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Yeah,
First
absolutely.
step,
Yeah.
and I'll go. So, but
That's
like, no, yeah, I saw the bands. I can't remember what they are. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going, and that's it. Okay, I'm going.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I'll
So
go with a friend too. Cool.
do you guys have some last words for the interview?
Basically,
Joe?
just like I said, I'm looking forward to putting out some more music and trying to expand ourselves, and that's my end.
And what about you, Raz?
Just be in the moment, because the moment is going to end very soon.
Yeah.
You know what? Remember I was telling you, Raz. I say by 2026 there would be no humans. Like most people would be dead by 2026. And certainly by 2030, like I said, the underground settlements. I was extending it a little later because I have a feeling that it might be like 5 years plus minus to my target of 2026. That all people would be, mostly dying. Because
Yeah.
we're gonna have like at one point the ocean's gonna go anaerobic and it's gonna put out it's gonna kill people. Climate's
Yeah.
gonna kill people, not war. It won't be the
You-
wars.
like-
It won't be wars and battles. Don't worry about the missile from
I want the
Kim
fireworks.
Jong-il. You can die of smog before Kim Jong-il, I'll tell you now.
Yeah.
You're gonna
So
die
yeah.
of natural climate catastrophe. Yeah.
Wiped out planets.
Oh, you
Nothing.
know what? That's the way
Life
Mother
sucks and
goes.
then you die.
Yeah.
It's like a flush. It's like a reset button. It's like it says this form on this planet was fun to play with. Now let's try something else.
Exxon, all the oil companies knew it. They knew it in '73. They were saying it, and they
Yeah.
knew it. They're like, yeah, if we don't stop, they were making billions. They made billions and billions, but they knew it. They don't care. They're going to go to the Mars. Why do you think Bezos and Musk and all these guys are going to the Mars? They're going up to space because they already freaking ejaculated in some tube that's growing up there in some laboratory. And they're going to have this super blue blood race
Yeah.
of lizard alien beings. And it's going to be, and they're going to only take certain genes from this planet. Just because you're rich doesn't mean they'll select you. You're going to get selected, and who's going to vote on it? The Bilderbergs, all them. They're all going to vote on it, and they're going to only a certain gene is going to leave this planet, and this planet is going to become a resource slave planet to supply workers and resources to the new planet.
Yeah,
They
it
got it
sounds
all worked out,
logical.
guys. Don't think that's not their goal. That is their goal. It's not about putting William Shatner in space for a joyride. These guys have a mission to continue the human species off of this dirt speck that we're on, and they're going to do it because they, look at the efforts already. They're already joyriding up there, and they got secret shit. These guys are not just doing this because they're too rich and they don't got enough. They're out to collectively establish another colony.
I mean, it's like,
why, with people starving, with all the bullshit problems, how about just give everybody medical and leave it at that, But no, we're gonna blast holes in the atmosphere and make every time they launch, any satellite is launched, the atmosphere is like Swiss cheese when it comes to the amount of holes blown in it. And add all these. Remember, it only takes one self-reinforcing feedback loop to ensure irreversible climate change, and we're already up way past 69 self-reinforcing feedback loops. And Guy McPherson, I like him. He speaks a lot of this stuff. Did you ever check him out? Check out Guy McPherson. He runs Nature Bats Last, and he's always talking about this stuff, and he's got some good analysis. And he studies all the different papers that come out, peer journals, and it's not like it's an opinion. It's like just the collective scientific data shows from all these different scientists all over the place who don't get paid for their work, and it's like it's not a hoax. Here we go. Here's the sample.
Yeah. That's cool.
Action should be taken.
Good timing, yeah.
How can it be taken? Yeas, 48. Wow, you know what? We're doomed in this country because no matter what side you're on, it doesn't matter. The whole government is run by complete imbeciles.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you're on this side or that side because they're all imbeciles, every one of them.
Yeah, I think,
take the choice of imbecile. It doesn't matter at this fucking point.
Yeah, like politicians, they're
doomed.
Politicians are like race of parasites. They live off others, and everywhere in any country. So yeah, they're like parasites.
Mutants. Yeah,
they live off our hard work and everything, but
manipulators. That's how I was calling it, right? Manipulator of the purse strings.
Yeah.
Master of the spoken word.
That's Jackal, yeah.
With ulterior motives.
Yeah, that's a
with ulterior motives.
And I actually asked him about what inspired you to write Master Jackal. And he told me it's not like any specific politician, but in general,
That's what sets them apart.
Yeah, the politicians, they can just suck it, man.
The demise of the human race, man. The human race was dying out.
I think you say politicians here. The politicians corrupt politicians, yeah. Because there are people politicians that really honestly try to do the right thing.
Yeah,
but they're a dying breed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're like
so 0.1. Yeah, so they're getting overrun. And so I'm not going to talk about all this shit because it doesn't matter because the fucking climate's going to ruin everything. But It's a sad situation. It's a sad state of affairs, and people don't fucking see it. I've been in Europe. You're from Europe too, as well, Milos.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck a politician is, and a type of politician that uses media bullshit and outright lies to people's faces and people follow him. So you tell me.
Well,
America's finding out.
It's become so fake that the truth actually bothers people.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's sick.
Let's not get into that because that's all night, But anyway, because it's true, man. Never argue with idiots because you'll join right in with them. You can't convince somebody of something that most people are such fools willing to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
That's really what it comes down to. You believe what you want to believe. So
Yeah.
you're in your
And
own universe.
Yeah,
Believe
it's like,
what
you know,
you
like
want to believe. In your
it's
own bubble.
like I think like Hegel or someone like that. He told like everybody lives in its own world. So like a world is made of billions of different worlds. So like every
Right.
person is another world. So yeah, like because we all have like different views and everything. So yeah.
But there's only one reality, and it's grim.
Yeah.
Reality is grim, and there's only one reality. There isn't
Reality
multiple
is like
realities. There's different uh, hemispheres or worlds, but there's only one reality. And people, the thing is, no one sees the one reality because everyone's in their own world.
yeah.
You know, but to think about it, if you could, isn't that the secret to break out of what it is that you are and be able to see the big picture? You know what I mean? That's, I mean, kind of, you're either living in your bubble or you're outside of your bubble. Are you in the glass?
Yeah.
and then also
The
think
glass,
about
you're a black sheep, and you're here. Yeah, look, you got a jar of flies. You take the lid off. Some flies fly out, and some stay in.
Yeah.
Because they're used to it. You know, people are worse than maggots. Isn't
Yeah.
that a quote on the Carcass album, on the first Recupification?
Maybe.
There's a quote, one of the lyrics, that people are as maggots to the earth or something like that. I can't remember that.
I don't know, like in which some band, like I can remember, like maggots. Yeah, maybe it's Big Destroyer. Like
Yeah.
maggots are playing a violin or something like that. Like maggots are like crunching meat to the sound of violin. Something like that. You know. I can remember. Yeah.
crunch me to the sound of violins.
Something like that, like maggots eating, or maybe like produce this music of, you know, violence. I can't remember, but yeah, it's something like that.
Sick.
I drew
So
this logo.
the end screen. Should we finish now with this one big word,
Absolutely.
which
You got
is
like tons of shit to edit, man.
Yeah.
This,
yeah, rip
Well,
this
me.
guy's
I try to give a little history of
you know,
some of the stuff.
he does this all fucking. He does this all the time, man. And you know,
Oh, yeah, you're great,
that's
man.
so clutch, man. That's great, man. I really appreciate.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your efforts, Milos. I really do.
I think this is great that the three of us got to talk about, about it. I mean, I relate to Raz like we're like defecation was, with the Mitch and two guys that lived. They wrote those albums, living in other countries,
Yeah.
just two guys, Mitch Harris and I always thought about that. A couple other bands like that, and then of course you had Beharit and you got the Burzum guy. They're just one guy.
Yeah.
Darkthrone has basically become two guys. I mean, in reality, I mean, the last bunch of albums was just those two guys, which is interesting. I remember, looking back at Darkthrone, seeing that, going, wow, these guys went from a band to just three guys, and basically even just two, but they still keep their identity with what they do, and
Yeah.
that's what I leave off is that we're not going to stray to fads or current trends. I mean, we just, I don't know, the trend thing. It's
I love the
people
song.
get on
Yeah.
trend.
The punk version.
Yeah, this
man.
part. This
The
was a
punk
very, very heavy. I was influenced by. I was listening to Anthrax at this point. I was hearing 1980s metal right here. I right after this part right here, the guitar sounded like. Here we go. Coming up. This is Tom breaking the drums right here. Yeah.
Green Jolly Elf.
Yeah.
Charlie Green Elf.
Yeah, Jolly Green Elf. Yeah. So
Nasty
thank you.
distortion.
Yeah, I think we should,
Dude, it's like
4
4
a.m.
o'clock in the morning over there.
It's 4 a.m. So yeah, I
Dude.
think we should cut it out.
I appreciate this, Felix. I really do. It's
Yeah.
4
Here we go.
a.m.
This is the part. This is what Anthrax I was thinking. That's
Yeah,
1980s right there.
yeah.
The riots.
So yeah, like,
Yes, brother.
do you
I'll
have
do-
some last words? Because I really need to sleep.
Yes, we got to stop. Alrighty. My last words are: stay safe. Hail, everybody. Love you. You know, thanks for the support. Your support's been wonderful. We support you as well, and look forward to 2022 being a good year for a lot of good music coming out from everyone, you know, who's out there doing it, plus us.
And what about you, Raz? Do you have some
I
last
say-
words?
Hail to old metal, man. Keep at the
Yeah.
music. Stay true. Don't go on another path. Don't get on the wrong ship, man.
Don't get on that ship.
Keep true to the music. Keep true to the path. That's all, man.
Yeah.
Hell.
So, thank you so much for this interview, and have a nice day. See you guys.
All right,
Okay.
be in touch.
Keep it metal.
Later, man.
Metal.
See ya.
Hail.
Hell.
Hey people, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Agoraphobic News. Please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us grow. You can also support us on Patreon by becoming one of our patrons. And big shout out to our patron Season of Mist for supporting our work. So stay tuned for another interview and keep it metal.